Stephanie, let's start by defining terms, if you like. How would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as a post-op transsexual woman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, somebody born in the wrong body, which I've had to deal with, but I've got there now, so yeah.
And you've had all the operations?
I have, yes.
Yes. Let's go back then to your childhood, because you say you feel like the person born in the wrong body.
Yeah.
At what age did you can you remember that first feeling of going, do you know what, something doesn't feel right?
Very young, but it's very hard to explain because it's, how do you define not feeling right? It's very difficult.
Yeah. But you started cross-dressing when you were quite young?
Yes.
How old were you?
Oh, my first memory is sort of probably 8 or 9, I would imagine. But it's possibly younger. But
And when you were at school, how was it there? Do you still have those feelings that, you know, perhaps all your mates were fancying girls?
yeah, it was very confusing, especially sort of high school, obviously, because my body was changing and I was horrified by that.
Yes.
But
What was horrifying you at the point that obviously you were going through puberty?
yeah, there was obviously that, but my body was changing. I shot up in height
Yeah.
because I'm very tall.
You are a tall lady, very striking.
So I'd shot up in height, and yeah, I just thought, well, whatever I want, whatever dream I have now, it's just impossible. It's not going to happen.
And what was that dream?
The dream was to be who I am today.
To be a woman, but you felt like as you say, in the wrong body.
Yeah, I was in the wrong body. I didn't know until I was in my early teenage years basically what I was. I just thought I was a bit strange.
Yeah. So there was no great light, no great epiphany. It was just this gradual realization.
Yeah. I saw shows such as Phil Donahue, that's going way back,
Yeah.
and the likes of Jerry Springer, and they sort of showed me that there were other people like me, although not put over in a very good light.
Yes. Because I suppose there was one thing to deal with the fact that you felt you were in the wrong body. It was another thing to deal with people's attitudes to you.
Yeah. Society wasn't ready for people like me then.
No.
There was a doctor at the time who, if somebody's child had said to them, you know, "Mummy, I'm a little girl," or "Mummy, I'm a little boy," they were taken off. They were either put in a padded cell or they were given electric shock treatment. That was how they dealt with it.
So clearly you were going to be very reluctant to say,
Yeah.
this is who I am, so much so that you got married.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got married, was there still something in your head saying, do you know, this isn't quite right?
I kind of knew it wasn't right. And, you know, my ex-wife, we both knew when we got married it wasn't right, but the peer pressure of a wedding day, we still went ahead with it. But inside, I was trying to conform to what society expected of me.
So you were doing the blokey thing, getting the girl, getting married,
Yeah.
and trying to live as a happily married couple.
Yeah.
At what point did the strain start to show?
The strain showed probably straight away, to be honest, because I hadn't told my wife that I was cross-dressing.
She had no idea?
She had no idea. I hid it very well. Nobody had any idea.
So how would you hide that? Because clearly, if you felt that you were in absolutely the wrong body and the wrong sex, that you had that urge to just be yourself.
Yeah.
In the face of society saying, actually, no, you can't be yourself because you're a bloke. You're a big, tall bloke. Get over it. Move on.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to satisfy that part of you that said, actually, I want to wear girls' clothing. I want to be like a girl.
Yeah. I guess I was just very, very crafty. And my ex-wife was a chef, so she worked very strange hours. I worked odd hours. So I found the free time to have that me time. And that was enough at the time to satisfy me.
And how would you describe that me time?
I suppose typical me time was, you know, getting changed, looking in the mirror, looking back at somebody who I wanted to be.
In a way, wasn't that also a bit of an anguish, because you're looking at when you've put your clothes on and maybe you did your makeup
It's
and
terrifying.
hair. Yeah, and you're looking at it and seeing that reflection going, this is what I so want to be. But at the same time, knowing that at that point, society, you're in a marriage, it goes against everything that everybody expected of you.
Yeah, and I was rather confused as well, because I found out at 21, you see, I'd come from a broken home. This was part of the reason it never came out at home. My mum had been through enough. My dad had left my mum. At the time, I thought just because they didn't get on. I learnt at 21 that my dad was actually living with another man as a couple. Back in that day and age, there was the likes of men behaving badly, two blokes living together, just normal. So to me, completely naive, didn't see it. When I found out, I was horrified, because I knew I was different. I still hadn't defined myself as transsexual. I'd defined myself as abnormal, and I hated myself for that.
You did make the mistake of getting married.
I did, yeah.
But that marriage eventually broke down after, what, about 7 years?
It broke down, not particularly for that reason. My wife found out about me not long after we got married, which was horrible, really. I should have told her before.
And how did she react when she found out that...
She was scared. She pretty much backed off from me, but she also said, well, look, this is you. We've got to deal with this. She tried to accept it in her own head, but she never wanted to see it, if that makes sense. Stephanie,
did you have children?
I have got a child, but I didn't from that marriage.
Okay, because you did make, you say in your own words, mistake, and we use that in inverted commas, of getting involved with another woman.
I did, yeah. In my marriage, we tried for children, and unfortunately, my wife was unable to have children, and that put an extra pressure on the marriage.
Yeah.
And that combined with me being transsexual, and I think she knew that.
Yeah.
That just drove us apart.
But
we were very good friends, but we weren't a couple.
But you did go on to have another relationship.
I did, yeah.
So you're still pursuing. You were just still doing your damnedest to conform.
Yeah. I fell into a rebound relationship with another woman who made me feel quite good about myself. She knew nothing. It's something I kept to myself.
So again, you went into another relationship and you didn't say, this is who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not proud of the fact I've hurt people. I feel awful about it. I've made a lot of mistakes, but society at the time didn't allow people like me to be ourselves, and therefore there's a lot of people out there that have made mistakes.
What point did you say to yourself or to others, I've got to come to a decision in my life, and that you made that decision to become Stephanie?
I'd had yet another rebound relationship. I don't know how or why that happened, but as a result of that relationship, we ended up having a little boy.
Yeah.
And I was sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into a depression. And when you're waking up in the morning and you can't be bothered with your own child, then you know there's something desperately wrong. I was desperately unhappy. She did know of my cross-dressing. We kind of agreed again that it was something that I would be allowed to do, but in my own time and not in front of her. Or I had 3 stepchildren through that relationship as well. So the boundaries were there, but I was never allowed to be myself, and this built up as more and more pressure inside me, and it just sent me into a spiralling depression where I wanted to kill myself.
Goodness. So you'd got to the point where it was either I have to do something about this, I have to do something to become Stephanie, or there is no alternative, I take my life.
Yeah, I went to the doctors